So, guys, I got Mitch Malloy, and he may be the front man for the iconic rock band Great White, but that hasn't stopped him from making his own brand of noise. His last solo album, Making Noise, was released in 2016. Mitch is no stranger to the studio and has worked with a variety of artists, labels, and brands, from Taylor Swift, Boys Like Girls, Kenny Loggins, Johnny Gates, Craig Morgan, and Sony Music New York, to singer-songwriters Victoria Show, Gary Burr, and Billy Falcon, and even voice-over work for Outdoor Channel, Field and Stream. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
And many more. You know, we need Jay needs to add some Field and Stream to our sports segment.
Yeah, just a sports segment.
Yeah. But let's get back to Mitch. So Mitch has garnered a major recording deal with RCA, BMG Worldwide, achieving success on the pop and rock charts, landed a coveted spot on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and has toured globally. Mitch's voice has been highly sought after as a frontman for legendary acts, as well as a guest vocalist on other artists' projects. In the mid-90s, Mitch was asked to replace Sammy Hagar as lead singer for Van Halen. Currently, Mitch is touring with Great White and performing, well, they were touring, they will be someday again, and performing solo acoustic shows while the world figures out how to safely open up arena shows once again. When Mitch is off the road, he's busy writing songs and working in the studio, creating new music for Great White. So let's welcome Mitch Malloy to Barside Jive Live. How's it going, Mitch?
Hey, guys.
How are
Good.
you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Good. Absolutely, I can hear you. Yeah, can you hear us okay?
I can. Beautifully.
Awesome. Well, you doing okay, I guess?
I'm doing
with
great,
the COVID
man.
thing. I mean,
You know,
you're like wearing your mask and like doing all that.
Yeah, I don't wear my mask in my house.
Right. Do you have like a cool mask, Mitch?
I have a black mask.
Just a black? You don't have
So I have to say yes, it's cool.
You don't have like a Great White mask or anything like that?
No, we talked about doing that, but I don't think it's actually happened.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. It's possible. I'm not really in charge of the merch.
Yeah.
So things happen that I don't see
until you look
coming.
at the website.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or at one of your
Until
shows.
I see somebody walk by with a shirt on, I'm like, hey, where'd that shirt come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the last to know.
Yeah.
Last one in the band is the last to know anything.
It's all good. All good.
Oh man. Well, I got so much to talk about with you. There's so much cool stuff that's happened in your life, but you know, I always like to go back to the beginning, and I'd love to know how this music thing started for you.
Well, yeah, if we're going to go all the way back, just make it as quick as I can. I was 6 years old, and I was kind of singled out in class as I guess the person that could sing. I'll never forget it, actually, because the teacher had every kid stand up and sing a line. And
really,
I was sitting in the back hiding, usually, believe it or not. Now I'm a front man in a rock band.
Yeah.
But when I was 6, I was hiding. So by the time she got to me, I stood up and sang it, and her jaw dropped. I'll never forget it. And from that moment on, I was the singer, you know?
Wow.
So then I started singing all the solos. And then when I was 9, the church called me to come and sing a solo in the adult choir for the church that Sunday. So
Right.
that was pretty cool. And then when I was 12, I was like, I want to rock. and I formed a band and started playing guitar and singing, and still working on that.
So what was the process of the guitar? Did someone give you one? Did you just buy one? What?
That was a theft situation where I stole it from my big brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked for it, didn't get it. He got it for Christmas. It was like, and so I guess my dad probably figured, like, whoever was going to gravitate towards it, like I was going to play it anyway. So,
Right.
So I did. I just kind of took it and I started playing, and it just happened. Like I just had a gift to play and to sing, and that's what I do.
So were you kind of a natural at it, or did you have to kind of work at it? I mean, as far as learning, because I know back then there was no internet.
Yeah, there was no internet, but yeah, it seemed like just music came out of me. And I never became like, a lead guitar player per se, although I do play leads on my records. Um, but I don't do much of that live unless I'm doing a solo acoustic thing. Then of course it's all me and I have to be the entire band on the acoustic.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, it just kind of came naturally to me. I'm more considered a singer though than I am a guitar player, but I actually play everything. Like on the Making Noise record, I made that by myself. I wrote all the songs by myself, and I played everything myself, sang everything myself, and then mixed it and mastered it myself. So it's truly a solo album.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah, kind of.
awesome.
Yeah. So yeah.
So tell us about your appearance on the Tonight Show with Jay Leno. That was really cool.
Yeah. As a kid growing up, watching Johnny Carson, thinking, "Oh man, I want to be on that show," and I didn't quite make it. By the time I got, I was able to be considered for the show, Johnny had already gone, and so I was on the Jay Leno show, which was a huge show,
Yeah.
and was yeah meant a lot. It was I did my song. It was my third single, "Our Love Will Never Die" off my first album.
Yeah, well, you had like reached a pretty high level in order to get asked to be on a guest on the show. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I had two singles prior to that,
hmm,
"Anything at All" and "Nobody Wins in This War," and those were both top 20 uh, radio hits in the U.S. So I had some notoriety, and I've been touring. I was out opening up for Eddie Money, actually.
wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. So that was fun. It was a really, really fun time.
yeah. Any memories? Anything memorable that happened back when you were opening for Eddie Money? Anything you want to share?
Just that he never wanted to take pictures next to me.
No way, man.
Yeah, but
Seriously?
Eddie's like that with everybody. Like, I've
Yeah,
seen him do that actually in an interview. Like somebody was like next to him. He was like, "You need to go away, man. I don't want to take a picture next to you." He was just funny like that. He was
wow.
cool. He was a cool guy. So many hits.
Yeah,
His show was so great. It
yeah.
was a real honor to open for him.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
cool.
Those are
Yeah.
some big audiences.
Oh yeah. It
Yeah,
was. It was for reals. It
yeah.
was. It was like the Great White. Tours. It was
Right,
like that.
right.
Yeah.
Did you actually ask him, "Hey, Eddie, can we get a photo?"
Oh, what?
Did you say, "Hey, Eddie, can we get a photo together?" And he's like, "No."
Well, it was more like he was he was just funny. He was like super insecure,
Yeah,
but a rock star, obviously he's like super famous. Everybody knows who he is.
sure.
And he's just self-conscious about the way he looked, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or maybe he was just being goof. I don't know, man.
yeah,
He was cool, but that's the only kind of little quirky, funny thing that I could think of.
yeah. Well, nowadays, you could Photoshop him into a picture just for that scrapbook. You could just stick
Yeah.
his head on somebody else's body.
Yeah, I don't have any pictures of us from them,
Really?
unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, back
Yeah.
then, camera phones they didn't exist. So I
No,
mean,
we're
you
talking 1992.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
had to have like a real camera.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was rough times
Remember those days?
back in the olden days.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. So were you pretty nervous when you at the studio with Jay?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was in the makeup room
Yeah.
and I'm just sitting there and they're doing their thing and the door opens and it's Jay and he's like, "Hi, Mitch." I was like, "Hi." It's like, "Is everything okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, you're Jay Leno."
Pinch me.
Yeah, it was really surreal.
Yeah.
And before I went out, I was so nervous. Like that is definitely the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
And like my legs were shaking. You can't see it on the clip, but the whole knee knocking nerve kind of thing that's a for real thing. Like
Yeah.
that actually happens to humans because it happened to me.
Yeah.
And then after about maybe a minute into the song or maybe a little less, I settled down and, you know, settled into it. But initially, wow, I was nervous. And it's funny because the percussionist um, in the band, in his band, Jay's band, came up to me afterwards and she was complimenting me how, she thought I was really good, whatever. And I said, I was so nervous. And she said, we've had huge stars that in the back throwing up right before they come on. So don't feel bad. Yeah.
I bet. Did he ask
It's one
you,
of those shows.
Did he ask you any questions that you were like, oh shit, I didn't think about that?
Actually, the only way that I got on, I haven't put that part of the clip has never been online. I've never posted it, but I did go to the couch.
Oh.
And I was told by my management he probably won't invite you to the couch because he doesn't like to interview musicians.
Okay.
He doesn't like. Apparently that's a thing because probably we're boring.
Nah.
That's what I'm thinking because he's smart. He knows how to do his job. And he's like, these guys are idiots. They have nothing to say.
Yeah.
But
that's not true at all.
Well, that was his,
Yeah,
he liked to interview comedians.
Yeah.
And actors.
Yeah.
He didn't like to interview the rock stars,
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So I knew that. So I had this story that had just happened to me where I had like a sort of a near-death experience, and ambulance came and got me and all this stuff.
Wow.
And it was a real animated story, and I was like telling it like this, and and so there's a segment producer on the Tonight Show for every segment, right? So I had my own producer. So she called me to do a pre-interview, and I told the story over the phone. I was like, like just being like super over the top so I could get on the couch, because I knew that if I could get on the couch, I would do better. I would have more of an impact.
Right.
So
Sure.
yeah, I told the story and I got on the couch, and then I told the story on the couch, and it went okay. It was like, I was nervous, really nervous. Yeah. So the singing aspect of it was a lot better than the couch aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's cool. It happened. So it's good.
So you've got a copy of that, the story?
Yeah, I have a copy of the whole thing somewhere. It's on the VHS. I'm not sure if I have the whole thing digitized, or I probably do, but God, it's been so long since I converted that. It's probably on a hard drive somewhere.
Oh man! So tell us briefly, what was the story?
I don't even remember now actually what I took. It was something. It was a supplement. And if you take too much of the supplement, I don't remember the name of it though. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
If you take too much of the supplement, you can react. You can have like a freak out reaction, which I had.
Right.
I was like shaking, and like I was all tingly, and I was cold, and I was hot, and I was sweating, and it was freaky. Like I thought I was dying. Yeah. So
Wow.
it was a natural supplement though. It wasn't a drug.
Yeah. They had to take you by ambulance?
Yeah. So my girlfriend, called the ambulance, and they came and got me, and it was all fine. I went to the hospital and everything, and then I told them what I'd taken, and they were like, "Oh,
No big deal."
Yeah, you'll be fine. You just took too much.
Was that after they pumped your stomach?
No, but apparently some people have an allergic reaction to this mineral.
Yeah.
It's a mineral.
Oh.
And I was one of those. I have some allergies and stuff like that. I have issues like that.
Yeah.
typical singer.
Yeah. So cool. Hey, well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: Did you get your picture with Jay Leno?
Yeah, and actually, he sent me.
Wow.
Yeah, I have it framed. My studio is down right now, so I don't have all the stuff up. I could show you. I framed. He sent me a letter with him signing it
Wow.
personally, thanking me for being on the show, and it was really cool. So
Yeah.
I framed it. I have it framed.
Wow.
It's laying in a pile in the other room.
Somewhere.
Yeah, I have it.
Hope you didn't digitize it because it's probably gone forever.
You know what I know? I think I did. I think I took a picture of it, and it was. So it's like again somewhere on a hard drive somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's cool. That's very cool.
yeah,
So,
man.
so let's move forward, I guess, and talk about the time that you auditioned for Van Halen, because that is really a cool story, and I
Yeah.
probably didn't get all the details. So tell the story and fill in the blanks.
Well, it's funny because I don't tell the story very often because there's a company that made a documentary about it and told the story better than I could tell it. So I always recommend that people watch Mitch Malloy Van Halen's Lost Boy on YouTube. Mitch Malloy Van Halen's Lost Boy
Right.
on YouTube. It's a
Great video.
great little mini documentary. It's like 10 minutes,
Right.
and it tells the whole story. So, but yeah, I can certainly share some. Do you have questions about it, or?
Yeah. Yeah. Just kind of tell us first, kind of basically what happened. I mean, how did you get the call?
Um, okay, so there was a couple of reasons for that. They had just recently shifted management to Ray Daniels. And Ray is famous manager for being Rush's manager his whole
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he started managing them when he was 16 or 17 or 18 or something like that,
Right.
when they were all really, really young. So, it's a phenomenal success story for Ray. And Ray also had started his own label in Canada. So he was really successful, really busy. And his sister was married to Al Van Halen.
Oh, okay.
Right. So he was sort of on their radar always
Right.
since, Al was, kind of married to that.
Right.
So, to his sister. And when their manager, I think, died, I think, they needed a manager, and it was like, boom, there was Ray. So there was a guy by the name of Steve Hoffman, who was a dear friend of mine, who has since passed away of cancer. But he was my road manager when I was on RCA, and I was touring when I went and toured Europe and when I was in the States. And he was my day-to-day guy, manager, and my tour manager. So he called me one day and said, I have this opportunity to go work for Ray Daniels, who manages Rush, and he's got this one and that one, and blah, 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 as a label. And he said, but I have to move to Toronto because Steve was he was a New Yorker, born and raised in New York.
Right.
And for him to move anywhere, like a lot of like true New Yorkers, to move anywhere else is like they don't want to, like, they consider New York to be the pinnacle, and
Yeah.
they don't want to move. They don't want to move anywhere else.
Right.
And if you know New Yorkers, you know that's true.
Yeah. Right.
So I said, dude, you've got to go. That's like huge. You've got to go. I mean, you'll learn so much. And I mean, Steve was already a really good manager and knew pretty much the whole business, but it was just a kind of a sidestep for him, and it was a good opportunity. And so he did it. I don't know if I had any influence over that decision or not, but I certainly encouraged it. So he got up there, and then Ray became Van Halen's manager. And
Wow.
Steve called me one day and said, I think you need to sit down. I'm like, okay. He's like, dude, this is big. I'm like, okay. He goes, first of all, do you have any contracts? I said, well, I'm about to sign a publishing deal and I'm about to sign a record deal. So, but it's in negotiations. So no, I don't have any paper with anyone. I do have a manager, but it's a handshake. It's a 3-year deal with him, and that's only about a year and a half in or something like that. And he said, okay, cool. I said, why? And he goes, well, Van Halen just fired Sammy. And I showed Ray your video and played him your CD, and he loves you. He thinks you are perfect for Van Halen. So I was like, wow, cool. All right. I'm in, like, yeah, answer's yes. And then the next day, Desmond Child called me, who I'd written with, not a lot, but I wrote with for the first album, and I kind of knew him a bit. And he had said, he goes, "Are you sitting down?" And I'm like, here we go again. I think I know where this is going.
Yeah.
And he goes, I was just at the Van Halen compound, and we were talking. They were trying to figure out who should be their singer. And I told them that you should be their singer. And so it was, I think, a combination of, I think maybe Desmond is an amazing salesperson. From what I do know of him, he's like, when he believes in something, he can really sell it.
Right.
And you guys know who he is. He's a huge songwriter. He wrote all Bon Jovi's kind of hits, and he wrote Kiss hits and Cher hits. And
everybody.
Yeah, massive songwriter. So he has a lot of clout. And, he was writing with them apparently, and he said, "Oh, Mitch Malloy, that's it." Because I think maybe they mentioned me to him. You guys, this guy Mitch Malloy, and he was like, "Oh, poof." Yeah. So he called me to tell me that he had given me the, stamp of approval, and that he thought that it was a done deal, that they wanted me, and that was it. So Eddie called, and we spoke, and they flew me out, and I went and hung out with them for a couple weeks. And on the third day, they told me I was in the band. Eddie told me I was in the band, like it says in the documentary. Yeah. I mean, just like I explained it in the documentary. Gave me the kind of mafioso, kiss on both cheeks and hugged me and walked out.
Wow.
That happened in the 5150 control room. I found out I was in Van Halen in the 5150 control room. It was unbelievable. Yeah. It was mind blowing. Like, he walked out of the room. I sat back down in the chair. I was at the console, and I just started giggling like a little girl, It was like my body, I was just like,
dude.
And I think I actually said, "I'm in Van Halen." You know what I mean? Like, that came out of my mouth, even though nobody else was there.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I bet you kind of freaked out when Eddie called you.
Yeah. Okay. So let me back up a little bit. I had been on vacation with my girlfriend. And he was calling. He got the days mixed up. He was calling and leaving messages on my Remember answering machines?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, he's calling. He left me 3 messages on my answer. So when we got home, I was like, oh, the messages are, there's like a flashing light. Like when you had messages, the light flashed, like the red light.
Yeah.
So I hit play, and it's Eddie Van Halen.
That's awesome.
And acting like a goof, like acting like a little kid on my answer machine. It was amazing.
Dude, if you still don't have those, I'm gonna be real disappointed.
I have it.
Good.
I knew it. I was fixing to say, if you say they were lost on a computer somewhere, I was gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I know I have it. It's like it's on a hard drive somewhere, but I know I have it.
Oh shit! Here we go. The lost hard drive. You need to do a new documentary, The Lost Hard Drive, because all your shit you got it. It's just lost somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh 20
man. 20 years of hard drives.
What a freaking experience! And the fact that he took you grocery shopping your first day there—that was like wow. And his Porsche.
Yeah, I'm a healthy guy. I've always been, I didn't ever do drugs or drink or anything. Yeah. And so he knew that,
Yeah.
And so that's why he said to me, he goes, "Hey, you're a healthy guy. I'm going to take you to the health food store and just get 2 of everything. You're going to be here for a long time. So just get 2 of everything that you need." And I did, and it was expensive. And he paid for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny because we got this isn't in the documentary. I think I probably said this, but they cut it out. When we went grocery shopping, or maybe it is, I haven't seen it in so long. I can't remember how
We
it
don't
goes.
cut shit out here.
But so we were at the grocery store in the checkout line, and the bagging guy was he looked like he was maybe, I don't know, 20 or something.
Yeah.
He looked up, and Eddie was first and I was second. We were standing there, and the cashier was right there, and he was right there next to her.
Yeah.
And he looks up and he sees Eddie, and he goes, and then he looks at me and he goes, "It's really good to meet you both." And he looks at me and goes, "Both?" And I'm thinking, no way this kid knows who I am.
Yeah.
But, maybe he thought I was Roth or, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I look like, like this.
He knew you were somebody.
Yeah. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. He was like stammering. Habada. And I was thinking, I can relate, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to sing for him.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
I do.
I bet you were nervous when you did that.
Yeah.
Oh, God. I was, but it's rock and roll, man. And it's in my soul, in my system. And it just,
just turned it on.
Yeah, it just happened. Panama was the first song.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he asked me, he goes, "What do you want to do first?" I'm like, "Panama, come on."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was standing, and Mike, so Ed was here, and
Right.
we're all behind the console,
Okay.
and standing up, and Mike was right here. So on the backgrounds, I just leaned into Mike, and he was like, "Ah!" I mean, that dude is like, wow.
Yeah.
He's loud. He can sing. Man.
Yeah.
He's got Michael Anthony's got the loudest, most pure tenor voice I think I've ever heard in my life. Like, whew, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was that in Panama. Yeah, it was great, and I think we did like 5 songs. It's cool.
Wow. In the studio. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that, man? You got any photos of that?
I do. Yeah, and they're online. Yeah.
Oh, they are online?
Yeah. There's about actually Valerie Bertinelli
Yeah.
took the pictures.
Wow.
Because I asked them both at one point. I said, if I could just get a couple of pictures to document this, just so I know it wasn't a dream.
Yeah.
I can look at it in a year and go, yeah, that actually happened.
Yeah.
They were like, oh yeah, cool, sure. And so Valerie took the pictures so they could, make sure, he looked okay, whatever, and quality control.
Yeah.
And I think I had 2 or 3 pictures, and they're online. If you look, Mitch Malloy and Eddie Van Halen, you'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. During the audition, did you do something that you regretted? Like, did you make a mistake or anything, and you were thinking, "Damn it"?
No, actually, no.
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 It was automatic. It was on autopilot.
I was prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, I had like a week or something to prepare.
Yeah.
So, I was, that's all I did was sing those songs for a week,
Yeah.
So, when I got in there, the adrenaline was like, whoa! and it just, I knew the songs. And so it went well. I just sang it how I would sing it, And it's funny because Ed actually said before we started, he looks at me and he goes, "God, I'm nervous." And I was like, "Oh,
did he really?
Like, really? Come on." Yeah. I was like,
you think he was sincere, or was he just jacking with you?
No, he was sincere. He was, because it's a big deal, when you're in a band and you change a member, it's like a new wife or something. I mean, it's like a marriage, and that analogy is used all the time by band guys because it's true. I mean, you're like, you're connected to these people like tight and close, and you're working closely together, and you're traveling together, and you're always together, and da da da. So he was, because he said, we don't do this. We don't, I think, Sam wasn't really, Sam was sort of, I mean, I think in his mind, because when I got there, he said, this is not an audition. Okay. We're just going to hang out. We want you in the band. We just need to vibe it out. Right.
Right.
Which is called, from anyone else, an audition.
Right.
But it was nice, and he was just trying to be nice, and he was trying to settle me down, I think, probably, just be accommodating and polite, which he was extremely polite. So was Valerie. They were amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I stayed with them.
Oh, really?
I stayed in the guest room.
Yeah.
Or in the guest house. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's actually across the driveway from the main house.
Yeah.
And 5150 is up the hill. So Ed has a golf cart. He just drives the golf cart up and down.
Gotcha.
Or he did. Yeah. I think that house is gone now. I think it's neither of them live there anymore.
Huh.
That's from what I heard anyway. But yeah. So where was I? Ask me another question. I'm lost.
I was going to ask you about how about the other guys? So Alex and Michael, how were they? Pretty cool? And
they were
did you?
amazingly cool. I mean, it was really like I was the new singer, and they were taking me in and welcoming me to the family. And you'll never forget, I got out of the limo, and they were all standing. The limo went up to 5150, and they were all standing outside 5150, like greeting me. Like, so I got out of there's Van Halen waiting for me.
Wow.
Like, that's not in the documentary either, I don't think. But I mean, there's so many, we couldn't put the whole story in there because it's a long story.
Yeah.
But I got out of the limo, and there they were.
Wow.
Like, hey, man, nice to meet you. I'm Mike. Nice to meet you. I'm out, And I had sunglasses on. It's California. And, Ed walked up to me and pulled my sunglasses down and looked into my eyes, and he goes, I have to see your eyes. Oh, okay, cool. We're good. Little stuff like that we didn't have time for in the documentary. I guess he didn't have time. I was just starring in that documentary. I had really nothing to do with it.
Yeah, yeah. When you guys weren't working, what did you do to pass the time?
We had dinners. We went out to eat, or we had dinner in. We talked. He talked. He would ask me if there were any songs I would prefer to do live or not prefer to do live, and he just asked me about my life and just kind of small talk. And we went out one night. We went to I think we went out for dinner, and then we went out to a bar. One night we went to like some private club where the rock stars go.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But it's a long, long time ago.
What an experience. Have you had any conversation with Eddie since then?
I have. Yeah. Not recently, but long after that. Yes.
Because he's had some health issues recently, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, he had. Do you remember the hip replacement thing?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he?
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking a lot back then, and it was when we were talking. Probably the most was right when Gary was exiting.
Yeah.
So he was calling me, and he was playing stuff for me over the phone, and he was calling me every day, sometimes twice a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. He was like, hey, what do you think of this? And he played me something over the phone. He used to call me and play me stuff over the phone, like just randomly.
Yeah.
Just like through the years,
Yeah.
Like the phone would ring, and it would be Ed. And, it would be like 1 a.m. or something, or even 2 a.m. sometimes, because he's in LA, and I wasn't. I was Central Time.
Right.
I was living in Nashville at the time.
Right.
And he'd be like, "Hey, it's Ed, man. How are you? I miss you." Like, and he's just like, what, like, he's just a dude. Like, what, he's so nice. Like, when he really loves somebody or he's like tight with somebody or whatever, he's so nice. So he was just like that. Like, he was like my big brother kind of.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Hey, check this out." And he'd be playing for me over the phone. And I'd be like,
Wow.
"There's nobody here to see this." Like if we had, like, if it was like cell phone, like now I'd be like recording it like on a cell phone.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
this is happening.
Yeah.
And he was playing riffs for me on the phone.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, so that would happen pretty often. And he's just a sweet guy,
So it wasn't Eddie, it was Ed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it wasn't
Ed.
Michael, it was Mike.
Yeah.
So Alex was
Al.
Al.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah,
Ed, Al, and Mike.
Yeah, Ed always called him Al too.
Oh,
He would
okay.
always refer to him as Al.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. I know that Eddie had given you at least part of a song, and I want you to tell about that. And I want to play it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he had given it to me. He wasn't happy with. He had co-written. He wrote that music bed. That was him. Or him and Al. I'm not sure. I never asked, but he wasn't happy with what had been previously, happening with that song. So he just gave me the music, and he said, "Take this home," because I was going back to Nashville. He said, "Take this home and write it, record it, and send it back to me." So I said, "Okay." And then what happened was, shortly after that, the whole MTV thing happened.
Right.
And it was a very tumultuous moment in my life, and just like I didn't know what to do, and it's pretty negative, really.
Right.
And so I just never really did. I never really wrote the song because I didn't really see any point, because I didn't really see myself in the band at that point.
Yeah.
This is not going to work, was what I thought. And so, yeah, that's what happened. And so I had just, I was on my last European tour, maybe not my last one, my second to last one. It was quite a long time ago. And I was flying home, and I thought to myself, I've got to kind of wrap things up. I gotta write any song that I have that's half written. I got to write it. I got to finish it. Any projects that I have that are sort of halfway done, I have to finish them. And I thought, oh, this is the Van Halen song. Yeah, I got to write that. So that was my priority. I got home, I put up the music, and it just poof, just hit me like woof. And I just, that thing was written like almost instantly, really.
Wow.
It just came flying out of me, and I was so happy. I was so happy with the melody and the whole, lyric approach and the phrasing. And, I wanted to write a Van Halen song. I mean, I was thinking Van Halen when I was writing that, it was very specific, but very natural and organic at the same time. If it's not natural and organic in a songwriting situation, it doesn't just come out.
Yeah.
It's laborious,
Yeah. The force.
And that song was not. It was like boom, done. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Was Eddie? Did he?
It was
anything
I'm sorry?
about it when it was done? What did he say?
That's an interesting question. I have never talked to him about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, let's play it for the audience.
Yeah.
It's called "It's the Right Time." Here we go. Great song, Mitch.
Yeah, it is.
Love it, man. Love it. Now, did Eddie contribute any of the lyrics, song title, or did you do all that?
I did all that. Yeah. So
Yeah.
just the music. I actually added some music to it.
Okay.
I added, a keyboard. I got his keyboard sound, that kind of classic Eddie keyboard sound.
Right.
And put a pad in there just to beef it up a little bit, make it sound a little bit more like a record,
Right.
because it was a pretty rough demo,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But it's Van Halen, so how rough could it be, right?
Right. Right.
Because they're pretty good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So interesting that you titled the song "It's the Right Time," because apparently it wasn't the right time for you to be in Van Halen.
Yeah. What was I thinking?
Yeah. I know. A lot of people probably wouldn't have done what you did, but I think you made an honorable decision. I know that's in the documentary, and I'll put that documentary in the link in the show description. But just real quick, the MTV Awards came up. You were already in the band.
So I thought. Yep.
Yeah, and so Van Halen shows up with the former singer, original singer, David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
And you're like, you had no clue.
None.
I bet you were devastated.
Heartbreaking.
Well, it was more like confusion.
Yeah.
Because there was zero indicate, like I knew, like they had just done like the greatest hits thing and he came and sang on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was some sort of, recent history again with Dave. But from everything they said to me, that was it. Like there was not going to be a future with Dave, period. Like no way. Right.
Right.
So for me, I never, saw it as something that I was competing against or anything like that. Right. So when Dave walked out, I was like, because Ed had told me numerous times, we're going to go do this MTV thing. MTV wants us to present. So we're going to go present. And, they've told us, if we go do this for them, they'll support the new Van Halen, and I'm like, okay, good, do it.
Right.
Go do it, do the work, whatever, and he was like, we don't really want to do it. And I'm not even sure who's going to go. And, Mike might not even come. It might be just me and Al and da-da-da-da. So he never said a word about Dave. Had he, I would have been, oh, okay. I mean,
I get
what
it.
have I got to say about it?
Right.
The new guy who's in the band, they're going to do what they're going to do. I'm not going to be like, Dave, over my dead body.
Right.
I
Right.
would never have done that. I would have just been like, oh, okay. And then I would have known and been okay with it. And then when he came out on stage with them, I wouldn't have been like jaw dropped like I was.
Right.
Like, oh, this is bad. Yeah. So.
And he wasn't back in the band. It was just
no
MTV, probably with all the power that they held.
It was
said, "Hey, this is how we want it to be."
Yeah, and I spoke to Ed afterwards, and he was just livid because they had, this is well documented now, so I can talk about it. But nobody knew at the time, but backstage they got into a huge fight, and it was like a spitting, pointing kind of thing, and really they almost came to blows. Is what Ed told me, and he apologized, and and I was like, well, this isn't. He's like, he's not in the band. Like, I'm like, yeah, but everybody thinks he is. So, I think what I said to him is Elvis could come back from the dead and would be like killed on stage because he's not David Lee Roth.
Right. Right.
It doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
It could be the biggest. My point was, I'm just little Mitch Malloy. And even if you got Elvis, it would be like, no, it has to be Dave.
Right.
And so whatever.
Because a lot of people were like that about Sammy.
Oh God, yeah, he was
when he
attacked.
first joined. Yeah.
Oh man,
Mm.
and it's the same way to a degree with me in Great White, even still. I mean, there are still some people, and you know what? I don't blame them at all. There are people who just, it's not Great White without Jack Russell,
Yeah.
So I get that. I mean, maybe, like think about it. Like, so if Aerosmith, some of my heroes, right? If Aerosmith got a new singer, I'd be like, what? You
Yeah.
can't replace
Oh,
Steven
yeah.
Tyler?
Yeah.
Like, or
It
Zeppelin,
can't work.
like, you can't replace Robert Plant.
Yeah.
No.
Or even like Hart, who was also a big influence on me. Like, you can't replace Ann Wilson.
Right.
No.
Like who's gonna do that?
Right.
So I get it.
Yeah.
As a fan,
Yeah.
who I am, which I am, I completely understand those fans. Luckily, there are thousands of fans that embrace me and accept me, and I'm cool with them. So, but I understand the whole thing with replacing a new singer and being rejected. I totally get it. Totally.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, people can go to your documentary and see the rest of that story, but I
Yeah.
appreciate you taking the time to share it, because I think people, it's a real interesting story and people want to know. And again, I think you made the right decision for you. That would have been tough to make. I wouldn't have wanted to be in your shoes.
It wasn't really that tough.
Really?
Oddly enough. Yeah.
Wow.
Because I had a record deal.
Oh, that's right. You did. That's right.
Yeah.
You had a backup plan.
And I had some big, powerful people,
Yeah.
I was working with, and, people who I believed in that could get it done. And,
Right.
and so, yeah, I had a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so, I was like, do I want to deal with this situation that's really volatile and probably not going to work, or just go back to doing my own thing, which I can do? And, my dream, like I told Ed always, because he was a little nervous that I was a solo artist.
Yeah.
And I said, Ed, I'm a solo artist by default. Like, I just never could find the right band. I started playing music with a band. I started playing guitar at age 12, forming a band.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And that's all I wanted to do. And then I came to a point in my life where I was a solo artist, and it was like lonely.
Yeah.
So for him, I eased his mind with that. It's like, no, I really want to be in a band. But then when all the crap started happening, I thought, I'm probably just better off just pursuing my own thing and let this go. It wasn't that hard. It's so weird. Like, I think about it and I understand why people could think like, we did what? But I've done it prior and after.
Yeah.
The same thing. Yeah, the same thing.
Sure.
I have passed on big acts that people don't know about.
Right.
So it's just like, I have a good life. I love where I live. I have a great family, and I was producing and I was making really good money doing that. And then I decided to stop doing that, and the Great White called, and so now I'm in Great White, and I'm still a solo artist. And life is good, man. I'm not a shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of guy. I don't think about, oh man, I made a mistake. I'm not that guy.
Right.
Awesome.
Right. Yeah, that's very cool. So you mentioned Great White. Let's talk about them a little bit. I know you joined the band when, in 2018?
Yeah, it's over 2 years now.
Yeah. Because we used to listen to the hell out of Great White back in the day.
Man, it's a blast.
Yeah.
I love, like, being on stage with that machine, right behind you, just driving. And I love the music, and my voice just fits it, and it just, man, it's so cool, because I mean, the travel is the hardest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
But the music, the singing, fronting that band is the easiest job I've ever had.
Yeah.
So it's the hardest and the easiest job I've ever had.
Because
both.
Because you're working with the others are all original members of the band.
Yeah, except for Scotty, who's been 11 years.
Yeah.
And the bass player, and
Yeah.
phenomenal bass player. Like
Yeah.
the guy is a monster.
Yeah.
Musician. He plays everything.
Yeah.
He can play like a sound check. He could just go. All we need is for him to do sound check pretty much by himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could just bop from one instrument to the, and he does. He bounces around because things need to be checked.
Sure.
And like when Michael can't check his stuff, he'll have Scotty do it for him. And yeah, Scotty's awesome. So yeah, the band is incredible, powerful. It's a blast. I love it.
Well, let's do this. Let's give them a sampling of what you're doing with Great White. Let's play "Rock Me," and when we come back from that song, I want to talk about your solo stuff.
Right on.
Will that work for you?
Perfect.
Okay, cool. So here's, by the way, guys, if you just now joining the show or you joined recently, we are talking to Mitch Malloy. He is the front man for the iconic rock band Great White, and this guy's an amazing solo artist in his own right. And here he is performing with Great White, "Rock Me."
Mr. Scotty Schneider on the bass guitar.
some fun this evening.
Awesome.
Yeah, great job, Mitch.
Thanks, man.
That was awesome. Awesome. Wow. I'm glad you guys are going to continue to play, and I'm excited to see you get back on the road.
Yeah, it's happening slowly. You
Yeah.
know, we've got some shows, kind of spattered for the rest of the year, and
You got anything in Dallas?
I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
Dallas, no. Man, that would be good though.
Yeah. Hey, dude, if you get to Dallas, like, I want a picture with you. Don't
Just
you?
like Eddie Money?
Yeah. You gonna give me the Eddie Money treatment? No,
Yeah.
no, dude. No, it's not happening.
Can't take a picture with you. Never do that.
Shoot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I think what's the closest we played to Dallas? I think we showed Houston maybe. a while
Oh, that's
back.
not too far.
A while back, and played somewhere else in Texas too. Where was that? Played in Arena, Queensryche.
If it's not Dallas or Fort Worth, it'd have to be.
I think it was
Houston
Austin. I think it was
or
outside of
or
Austin.
San Antonio.
It's
Yeah.
like, it was north of Austin. Oh, I love San Antonio. I haven't been there.
Yeah, me too. Right? I get
Yeah,
my
great.
Mitch. I'm telling you, we're out of time, and like we could we got to have you back on. You just got to do
Okay.
this again. We got to tell more stories. We got to play more music. But you've got this amazing solo career, and I want people to go find your stuff, because once I got turned on to it, I was like, wow. So, but I am going to play one song, "My Therapy."
Yeah.
You want? Yeah. Do you want to talk about it?
Right. So my therapy happened. I was producing a lot of acts, and I had been kind of started playing different instruments on these acts records, and kind of figured out that I kind of was maybe good enough at each thing to actually make my own record by myself. So, which I thought, what a stupid, egotistical thing to do, right? Like, why would I ever do that? But the reason I did it was because
Prince did it.
Well, the reason I did it because it wasn't an egotistical thing. It was that had been working with so many people. I kind of needed some solitude,
Yeah.
and I had to make a record for my European tour, so I had no choice. So I just made it all by myself. And so my therapy was kind of making this record has become my therapy. So that's where the song came from.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to play it as we close the show, Mitch, and I just want to thank you again for doing this. It's freaking awesome that you took the time to come on for an hour and spend it with us. We really enjoyed having you on. You're a great guy and
Thank you.
very talented, and we look forward just to seeing continued success for you down the road. And I'm definitely
back.
going to find you somewhere at a show and get that picture.
Yeah.
Yes. Come see the Great Whites.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I will, because, I never saw him back in the day.
Oh, man.
I never saw him live.
It's a rock and roll show.
Oh,
You
yeah.
saw the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mitch, thank you again. It's been awesome having you, and go spend some time with your family.
Yeah, go grab my wife.
Yeah, your wife. Tell your wife we said hello.
Okay, guys.
All right, Mitch.
Nice to
Thank
meet you.
Thank you again so much. Keep rocking.
Okay, you too.
All right. See you.
Take care.
All right, guys, that was Mitch Malloy from Great White, and like I said, he's got an awesome catalog of all these
Amazing voice.
amazing
Amazing
voice,
voice.
all this material that he's done, his solo stuff, and he's just really talented. The stories, the guys, he's been down the road and got a lot of stories to tell, and we heard a little bit tonight, so we look forward to having Mitch back on. But what I want to do is go ahead and close out the show. We're going to end with My Therapy. Here he is one more time, Mitch Malloy, My Therapy.
I've been cheated and I've been had. I've never been broke this bad.
Great.
Adios.
Adios. See you.